存在の証明を声を震わせ続けてまあそんな高くないか。Oh, Mango, welcome back. Do they cover Schrödinger's equation in chemistry? I mean, there's a quantum chemistry class. I mean, I know that's a thing, so I'm sure they cover it. I mean, any class that deals with wave propagation in any capacity, I assume will one way or another cover it. I suppose that begs the question then, do people that require that knowledge get directed to a physics class, or do they get directed to a class within their department if it's not physics? To which I have no clue. Yeah. I need to move my microphone. Ooh, actually, let's see. Wish I had a different drink today. See if I have anything else to drink. guess there's the 7-Up from AJ. Let's be healthy. We'll have some water today. Let's be healthy. あ、っていうか、こんなことやってる間さ、自転車充電するべきだよね。うい。Oh, what the overnight. Monarchy, welcome back. One sec, I'm gonna. I realized if I'm gonna be studying, I should be charging my bicycle. So let me go put the charger in. Let's see. Went to the air show today. Okay. Staying relaxed. Multiple naps. I mean, so I don't know if I mentioned before, but I've definitely done that too. I remember at AX, I can't remember what panel it was, but I went with a few other people, and they went in the panel, but I told them I was just tired, so I actually just slept along the wall, like near the a bit of ways away from the door of the panel, and I just and it was like a 2-hour panel, so I just took a nap, like just laying like lengthwise along the wall, on the floor. So no, I can relate to that, yeah. And then, I mean, I think I mentioned before, but I need a lot of sleep, so I remember, maybe this is more relevant to the air show, but one time I went to where was it? Was it Knott's Berry Farm, or was it Six Flags? I want to say it was Knott's. But anyway, we went to Knott's, and there was some sort of indoor, event thing. I don't remember, but I remember it was like there was a stage, and it was indoors, and it was sort of like a round, sort of like auditorium style thing, and there was some event, I can't remember. And well, the reason why I can't remember what the event was is because I fell asleep during it. And apparently, but I remember, so the thing that would happen is I got in, it got dark, I fell asleep, and then I would wake up every single time people were clapping, and then I'd clap for a little bit too, and then I'd fall asleep again. So the person, the people that I was with, were, after that I was just like, man, I slept through that entire thing, and they're like, yeah, it's hilarious because you're sleeping and then you'd clap and then you just fall asleep again. Hey, but at least I had enough respect to clap, Like, sure, I didn't have enough energy to pay attention to what they were doing, but, like, at least I clapped, right? I gave them the respect as performers that they, deserved. Not enough to pay attention, but... yeah. It happens. It happens. He was terrible. Yeah, dude, today I was just like, well, what I wanted to do is I wanted to come into the office early in the morning, and then, and then just stay in here because it's air conditioned. Well, actually, that's the thing. I feel like it might not be air conditioned on the weekend because it's a little hot in here, or it's a little warm in here. But yeah, like I mean, I knew the weather was gonna get warmer over the weekend, but like, or maybe not warmer. I think Friday was actually the peak, but for us, but it's too hot today, and I think it's still gonna be hot tomorrow for us. You know, it's without a snow. So sorry. Let's see. So what air show was there today? I feel like I'm stupid. Like I is there a holiday this weekend that I'm forgetting about or oh, it's a local thing maybe? Air show. Hmm. Okay, cool. Cool. So you have to just sit in the sun. While I understand it is dangerous, right? It is dangerous to fall asleep in the sun on a hot day, right? So, try not to, obviously, but it happens. Yeah. The behind the race, human ingenuity, right? You know, you gotta make your own solutions. Yeah. So wait, why did you go? Do you just go as like a family there or something? Family thing. Okay. Cool. 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 Yeah, it was pretty busy over here. Well, it was hot, obviously, but like it was pretty busy over here as well. But kind of for a different reason. I think homecoming weekend was this weekend. So, there's a lot of people near the or around the university right now, and well, I'm honestly sick of it. I don't really like crowds in the first place, but um, yeah. I'm not gonna tell them to get lost, but like, it is kind of like, ugh, people. Like, I wanted to get pizza today, but the line was just so long for the pizza place. I was just like, nah. Like, I feel a little bad for saying this, but because I realized for stores, it's, it kind of like COVID sucked. But COVID, I feel like, was kind of great for me because just in terms of like going around the city, because like there just weren't that many people, like it was like, you didn't have to like, you either gotta like potentially, well, see, the annoying thing I feel like with I really don't know what to blame it on. See, I feel like part of it is people being super attached to their phones. Like, there's a number of things sorry, so this is me going on another tangent, but like the thing with people on their phones, I don't fundamentally mind. It just annoys me when they don't like pay attention to where they're walking. And it's, everyone's like, oh, well, I don't do that. I pay attention to where I'm walking while I have my phone out. And I'm like, no, maybe some people do, but a lot of people don't, right? Because literally they hold their phones like flat, like parallel to the ground. And exactly, peripheral vision. So when people mess with their phones, but they're totally capable of dodging people, and without just within, a reasonable distance, then I don't care. The problem is a lot of these people can't do that. And the reason is because they have their phone parallel to the ground and then at their stomach level. So they're looking immediately down, into their stomach almost, and texting, I don't know, they're, whoever, I don't know what these people use. They're on I don't know, not Facebook obviously, but Instagram probably, right? Hammerhead sharks. How do hammerhead sharks? Oh, are they the ones with? Are hammerheads the ones with the eyes on the edges or at the bottom? They have at the edges, right? I think. Let's see. So they can't see anything in the middle or some shit like that. But there's the thing is So to me, this makes no sense for a lot of reasons. First, if you have your phone parallel with the ground, then you're getting fuck tons of sunlight on it, so it's harder to see the text, at any given point in time, right? So I don't understand why you would hold your phone like that, first of all. So you would think if you held your phone perpendicular with the ground at the very least, if the better thing is to hold it collinear with the sun, obviously, but basically if you hold your phone upright, right, you don't get sunlight in the screen, so it's easier to see, right? So then, that seems like the logical way of holding it, right? So then people are like, oh, but then, I can't, since I have my phone they're still holding it at stomach level, they're like, oh, but I can't see it if I hold it that tall. And it's like, yeah, dumbass, that's why you bring the phone up. You hold the phone, slightly below eye level, but upright, and you hold it there and you look at it. That's how you hold a phone and keep your peripheral vision, dumbass, right? Because that way, your peripheral vision isn't the circle of ground below you, it's the circle of space in front of you, right? So that way, you can see someone walking in the opposite direction, coming towards you, easily. Even if you're paying attention, you're super deep into your conversation about I don't know, blockchain or some shit like that, or that's probably not what people talk about on even if you're super deep in your conversation about whatever drama just happened in your life, right, you can still see the guy talking about the guy walking in the opposite direction as you, right, and you can dodge. You don't swerve 3 feet before them. About ass, okay, maybe, I mean, I guess if they're I guess if they're in high school, then, sex probably has to do with a lot of it. So yeah, ass probably is about right, isn't it? But you know what I mean? This is, so that's the thing that bothered me. It's yeah, I realize, the city's going to get busy. Fine. You can't really avoid that. There's just more people now. And I get it. Some people are really busy, so, they gotta they gotta communicate whatever the fuck is going on, and some people are just insecure, so they're dealing with their social, anxiety by constantly being socially, whatever. Yeah, fine, I get it. Yeah, everyone's got their own circumstances, but damn, would it kill you to, just look forward? That's all I need. I don't even need half of the sidewalk. I just need one person's width worth of sidewalk, and I don't want to have to worry about literally shoulder checking someone in the face, that's how close I get to bumping into people in this place. And that's after I tilt my entire body out of the way. Like, I have to tilt my body out of the way, or else I would literally shoulder check them in the face because they're looking down at their phone. And I'm like, again, sense of self. Maybe I don't know if I talked about this to you, but it's like, there's this lack of, this sense of self-preservation, right? Like, there's this lack of the sense, or the self-preservation in people around here, and it's yeah. Anyway, so COVID was nice because you wouldn't have people like that, because they would literally just not be on the street, right? Like, they would be, cooped up in their house, on WhatsApp or whatever, right? And I was like, that was nice. That was nice when I had to deal with people literally just trying to, like, I don't know. It's, yeah. It's like, that is that too much to ask for, right? Honestly, like, is it too much to ask for, like, someone, preemptively dodging? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Is one person's width worth of space on the sidewalk? Mine, and for the record, these sidewalks are wide enough to fit like 4 people shoulder to shoulder. So I'm literally only asking for a quarter of the sidewalk. Like, I don't know. Is that too much to ask for? Maybe it is. Maybe my expectations are too high and I need to, like, levitate myself over these people or something. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind if I had, like, a jetpack or something. Or maybe I need to just run them over. I don't know. Mind users. Exactly. Yeah. I've been really tempted to just carry, like, a flashlight and, like, either I don't want to do a laser pointer because I don't actually want to hurt someone, right? But I feel like I've been tempted. Like, should I just carry around a flashlight and just point it at people that aren't looking at me, that are coming my way? Like, just really, like, make the flashlight like sort of focus, and then, like, literally just point it at people's faces. Like, I'm just wondering, like, do I need to do that? Like, I don't know. Anyway. Yeah. I don't know. They'll think you're a TikTok. Is that what they do on TikTok? Sorry, I don't know. Is that some new fad? Like, carrying around flashlights? I mean, like, I'll carry around a flashlight at night, but I mean, like, during the day, right? They don't? Okay, well, maybe I can start a new TikTok trend. It's like, it's just a prank. I'm just trying to get you to fucking look up. It's just a prank, bro. Boiling chicken and NyQuil. I don't know if we talked about it already, but I did see the headlines for that. So, sorry, so the thing is, the other day, and I think this was after that, I remember reading that article, but I saw someone on the street that said something about, like, their shirt said something about, like, getting a high off, like, or at least I don't think it literally said that, but it was something along the lines of, like, my preferred drug of choice is, like, cough syrup or something. Does that have, so, and I realize it's different from NyQuil, but I don't know, they seemed like in the same vein because, anyway. But is that a thing? It has alcohol in it. Okay. Oh, they're trying to get that. Wait, what is the point of boiling it in what is the point of cooking chicken then? Oh, really? Oh, okay. You can tell how many times I've bought NyQuil. Yeah, the more you know. The new Tide Pods trend, just like some dumb thing to do. So, cloud tracing, I don't know. The thing I really didn't understand about the Tide Pod thing was, like, people, like, eating Tide Pods, right? And the thing I didn't really understand was, like, most food doesn't look that colorful, right? In fact, in nature, right, anything that has bright colors like that is typically toxic, right? So it's like, you know, I don't know. I feel like at an instinctive level, you'd think not to eat it, but I don't know. Like, I remember, like, the whole, like, cinnamon challenge crap from, like, ages ago. And that I understood a little bit more because cinnamon is technically still edible, right? You know, obviously you don't want to inhale, like, powder, but I could understand because, you know, there's, like, what do you call it? There's, you know, there's, like, you see, like, you know, like, protein supplements and shit at the store, right? And I mean, I've had those like a protein shake before, and man, it was disgusting. But I feel like it was only disgusting because it was, you know, it was mixed with water, and you try to drink it, and it gets stuck all over your mouth. So I can understand maybe how it would be beneficial to have like to have the ability to like literally just eat the powder, you know, so it doesn't like linger in your mouth as long or something, right? And then just wash it down with water afterwards, as opposed to just trying to drink half, you know, shitty tasting water. So the cinnamon thing I could understand slightly. Of course, I don't know who in the world thinks, oh yeah, I'll just inhale basically powder. That's a good idea, but nonetheless, I could understand that a little bit more. But like, doesn't stop the views. I guess that's the reality, isn't it? Yeah. I don't know. It was very strange. Very strange. But see, this is why this is why my channel viewership is so low, right? I just don't understand all this stuff. If I did, I bet I could, you know, pull in the big views and shit, or the big view counts and shit. Yeah, so who's wrong, them or me? I mean, you know, they're the ones with, you know, 100,000 followers and shit, right? So, yeah. Damn, it really doesn't feel like that the air conditioning is working. Let me open the door. Try to do the trends if you had no morals and the time. I honestly, well, see, and that's why I don't want to be too hard on some of these things, because like the reality is, yeah, I bet if I wasn't so strapped on time and stuff, and I didn't have to like literally, you know, like if I didn't have to like, what do you call it? What's the word for it? Not scavenge. It's not portion. What's the word for it? What's the word? Essentially, if I had enough free time that I didn't need to like, what's the word for it? Like it's the word you use to describe when, ration. That's the word. If I had enough free time that I didn't have to like ration it on like a daily basis, you know, to the point that I mean, you know, like. How many times have you seen me play a video game, right? Like, you can probably count on one hand, right? So, like, if I didn't have to ration my time finally, then yeah, you know, like, I can't deny that I might do stuff like that, and, you know, if anything, I probably would. So, like, I don't want to be too hard on these people, because it's not like I'm, you know, totally, you know, it's not like it's not like I can confidently say I wouldn't be like that, right? Like the biggest, you know, differentiating factor isn't, oh, I'm better than them or something. It's, oh, I have so little free time that I need to be, you know, that I don't have the disposable, not income. Well, I also don't have the disposable income, but I just don't have the free time to be able to do stuff like that. So, like, that's the deciding factor. It isn't anything fundamental about me as a person, right? So, you know, so again, I don't want to be too hard on these people, but, so like the NyQuil thing, like, I don't, you know, I don't know why you would do it with chicken, but, you know, like, I don't know why you'd do it with NyQuil and why you would do it with chicken, but you know, I can see someone trying it and being like, okay, this tastes like maybe, I don't know, does it taste good? Let me see. Oh, geez, it turns green. Sorry, so they call it sleepy chicken, which I assume means that you're supposed to, like, eat it and try to stay awake? I mean, I guess so. I didn't realize, but NyQuil's green, isn't it? So of course it turns stuff green. But sorry, I don't know. Is it supposed to actually enhance the flavor, or is it just supposed to be like, oh, eat it and try to stay awake type thing? I'm trying to figure out. That's essentially. What is the point of cooking NyQuil or chicken in NyQuil? Let's see. Here, what cooking chicken in NyQuil actually does to your body? No one says what the point of this. What is the challenge? Let's see. What is the NyQuil chicken? Like, what is the goal? No, I mean, I don't mean like why do people do it? I'm asking, what does it mean to, like, succeed or fail at the challenge? Like, what are the win conditions, so to speak? Like, what do? You don't just cook it, right? You, like, eat it, right? But then what? You just eat it and that's it? Or, like, does it taste disgusting so you want to throw up, and you have to just hold it down? Or does it make you sleepy so you have to stay awake after you eat it? Or, like, you know what I mean? Like, this is like I don't get it. Or actually, this the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I well, first of all, I see a lot of stuff how this is actually fake. So then, let me put it this way: I I don't want to denounce the thought of, like, oh, hey, let's try cooking, chicken in NyQuil, because, like I don't know, maybe it would taste good. I don't know. So I would understand doing it once and then just, like, testing it on, like, a small piece of chicken or something. I don't know why you would extract, but I don't understand the high from the feeling. But then what's the point of the chicken? Right? There was already an article of, several months ago, I think, about how people were boiling condoms to get high off, like, the ethanol fumes, or it was ethanol. It was, I don't know, like the latex degrades, or there's something in condoms that, like, degrades with heat, and it breaks down into ethanol or something. So why don't they just do that? If that's the point of getting, if the point is getting high, just boil it. Yeah, okay, sure. But, like, but what's the point of the chicken? What did the chicken do to these people, right? Like, What did the chicken do to deserve this? You could have just made like a grilled chicken breast or something, right? Like, what did the chicken do to deserve getting cooked in NyQuil? And not just once for like curiosity's sake, but like multiple times if it is actually a trend, right? Like this is what I want to figure out. Because I can understand trying it once for experimentation, and I can understand, like they're in a different state of mind. I mean, I guess, yeah. But like, so that's what I mean. Like my mom has a really good like balsamic vinegar chicken recipe, which really boils down to just mixing what amounts to mostly balsamic vinegar and then just like literally just cooking chicken in it for like, hours. Like that's really basically what the recipe is. There's a few other ingredients, but it's mostly balsamic chicken, or it's mostly balsamic vinegar, right? It's to the point where like literally doing that once will use up like a Costco like bottle of balsamic vinegar. Like, right? And the point isn't to reduce the vinegar, it's to cook the vinegar into the chicken, right? But my point is like, so I understand, there is a culinary thing of like, just cooking chicken in something for long periods of time, so it like slowly absorbs it. Okay, yes, like I get that. And I understand maybe you would want to try applying that to NyQuil for the sake of curiosity, right? But then I don't understand the challenge part is, I guess, what I'm getting at. Like I can understand trying it out of curiosity, and I can understand why multiple people may want to try it out of morbid curiosity. But I don't understand why it's a challenge then. You see what I mean? Like, this is what I was trying to figure out, but I couldn't really figure it out, so whatever. Yeah. I don't know. One thing I do want to do for, like, YouTube channel content, though, is I do want to make a video series of like cooking the typical recipes my mom has, because some of them, like, I keep trying to replicate the recipe and I can just never get it right. Which is fine because my mom's not dead yet. I can keep asking her, but eventually, I'm not going to be able to. So I do want to set up something to make sure that that information is somewhere, for the future. Yeah. The crazy thing is, like, the simplest thing that I can just never get right is her meat sauce spaghetti. I can never get that thing to taste right. I don't know. Anyway. Like, I have the recipes on... I don't know if I have that specific recipe, but I have some recipes on the Notion page, right? But yeah, I don't know. So red. Is that just because you've been like, I don't know, is that just because you're tired from the entire day or something? That'll happen, right? Yeah, maybe it's just dogs and trucks. Yeah. I don't know. So why is your eyes going red associated with drugs? Is it really that? Well, like what about drug usage causes your eyes to go red? Because, like, I feel like people's eyes go red for like totally normal stuff, right? Like when I wake up in the morning, my eyes are a little, and I'm a little bit tired, like fatigued. Then my eyes will be red, every few times or so. It's not that rare. And like if I stay, if I'm really tired at the end of the day and like I have a headache or something, then my eyes, or at least I think my right eye usually, but like it gets a little red. Like the veins are more visible. Is it like your veins get dilated type thing? Is that what the issue is, or is that the reason why it looks red, or like this emo? I'm sure it's not that red, but yeah, I don't know. I don't have a lot of context for drug usage, unfortunately. Yeah. I mean, I don't know, if your eyes are red and you're feeling tired, then maybe you should just take a break. I mean, it's still Saturday, so you can, you still got Sunday to, or, yeah, like you can just, like, you're okay, yeah. And that's good, yeah. Oh yeah, by the way, I brought this to the office today. It's a microwave rice cooker. Although the issue is I don't have a way to measure how much rice to put in it. I want to try this in the microwave later, but anyway. It's a microwave rice cooker. It's the funny thing is, like, you'd think, oh, it's microwave, so it's faster, but it's not actually faster than a regular rice cooker. Like, I was looking at the instructions, and it takes anywhere between like half an hour to like 45 minutes to cook rice using this rice cooker. So it's like, it's not actually that faster than a regular rice cooker. I feel like the only benefit is that it's probably easier to clean, and then you don't need an extra like appliance, but it's not actually faster. Yeah. Well, anyway, yeah, if today was a long day, take a break, right? Like, I started the stream late, too, for a pretty similar reason, right? Well, yeah. Actually, so I took a nap before the stream, which is why I started late. But again, if I needed another example about how caffeine doesn't really seem to help, then that was it, because I literally drank coffee like after I got to the office, because I was like, oh, I'm probably gonna get sleepy, so better drink some coffee. And what do you know? I fell asleep. So yeah, I don't know if it's like a metabolism thing. It's weird, right? Because I've been told I'm really thin. I mean, you can kind of see that by observation. So the assumption there is that my metabolism must, digest things quickly, right? I think that's usually the assumption. If you're thin, your body tends to be able to digest stuff quickly. But then, if that's the case, then why does it take so long for caffeine to work? Because, caffeine will work. It's just I drink it and then I sleep, and then I wake up and then I feel awake, right? So caffeine doesn't actually immediately work. It takes like way longer than usual to work, or for usual people to work, for it to work, right? Like for caffeine to help me in the morning, I need to drink it before I sleep. And it's like, what do you mean there's a 6 to 8 hour delay? Like, where is the caffeine going? It's only going down my throat. It's not like it's not like there's like a pocket dimension like halfway through my throat where it gets stuck for a few hours, right? Like, I don't know. So yeah, what's the schedule for today then? Just video games or something, or? That's good. Yeah. So I was thinking like, I was gonna say Fortnite, but what I meant to say is, Overwatch 2 is, gotta wait all the way until October. But then I thought about it and like October's literally a week away. Where did all the time go? Hello? It's like, hello? Month? Try to finish the script. Well, I think you said there's a somewhat of a deadline, right? But there's a rough deadline, right? I forgot when you said that it's until, but yeah, I don't know. December. And what do you want to have done by then? Oh, right, but what I mean to say is how much of so my understanding is that you have essentially someone not booked, so to speak, but you have somewhat of an agreement with them that should you have a script ready by December, that they'd be willing to record it. So in that sense, you have them booked until then, right? Or at the very least until then, if not further. That's not clear. And you want to fit it into Twitter's video, or like their audio/video format or like thing. And by format, I don't mean like data format, but I mean in terms of just the general structure. So that restricts you to 2 minutes and 20 seconds. But what I want to know is how much like story do you want done by December? I guess if that's the I guess what I mean, yeah, so I guess what is like the minimum viable product again, to use that word again? What is the minimum viable product, and then what is the, moonshot, ideal goal? And when we say story here, I mean, I'm the one that said the story, so I should have clarified. But like how much like what are the So I'm assuming this is the same script as what I saw the other day. Is that correct? So when I looked at that, to me there were, and I'm gonna maybe change the language that I use. So there's an overarching story that to me is not clear, but that's obviously because you haven't written it down yet. So can't really read your mind there. So let me define like what do we want to call it? Is it okay just to call it a scene then? Or an event or something? I don't know. But to me, that script has 3, right? I mean, that's how you separated it. Oh, it finished charging. So do you want all 3 of those done by December? I guess what I'm asking, is it really necessary to have all? I don't know if you do, but if you do, is that strictly necessary? Is 1 not enough? I mean, like, is this person gonna like vanish into thin air after December, or like, are they done? Only sorry. So why do you need two? Is that the agreement, or I don't know. So are you never going to be able to request this person in the future if, past December? Oh, I see. Okay, they're in the military. And is it that important to have voice actor Poland? Oh, interesting. Interesting. Huh. But, well, actually, wait, isn't that kind of sketch? Well, anyway, yeah. And yeah, so what happens ifどうだろう? As yeah. And you don't need to send these at once, right? Or you don't need to send the scripts at once, right? Big set, okay. Yeah, well, that'll happen, right? Yeah. I guess what I'm saying is this. I'm wondering how much, essentially what I'm wondering is, are you, since just because it came as one file, it seemed like you were working on all the scripts at the same time. But I also realize that could be because you just put it all in one master document or something eventually. But like, scenes, well then just work on the one you're not stuck on, right? And then, just finish that first, and then, if you, I don't know, and then every once in a while just go back to the one you were stuck on, right? Essentially, what I'm wondering is how asynchronously this project, is how asynchronous you can make it is essentially what I'm wondering. Because, again, from my personal experience, I run into the same issue where, just due to the types of projects that I work on, they can be done asynchronously. There are multiple tasks that can be done asynchronously, but the problem is that no one around me has the same skill set, or there's a lack of overlap between people that have the skills that are required to do the asynchronous tasks that I need to get done, but then also people that have enough free time to help me on that, right? So when it inevitably happens, and this just keeps happening, is like people be like, oh yeah, I'd be willing to help out, but I can't ask them for any help because they don't have the skill set to. And it's like, okay, people will say then, okay, well then why don't you train them? And it's like, because I only need the skill once. And the time it takes to train someone to help me with one task, I could have just done it myself. And it's like, oh, well, then they'll never be able to help you. And it's like, I understand that, right? Like, and that's the unfortunate reality. So, like, most of the time, I do try to, just take the hidden time and just explain it to someone, in case they're curious. But the reality, what happens is that you only get one in every several dozen people that eventually, use that skill and, develop it in their own time, such that, a year and a half or 2 down the road, you're like, oh, by the way, I know you continue to work on that project. Can I get some help? Right? So if you're not strapped for time, then that's fine, right? You just hope that there's one in every several dozen people that can help. But then, if you are strapped for time, like most people, then, you have to make a cost assessment, right? So in your case, I'm wondering how asynchronously the task, or the script you're working on can be made. And like if it can, then yeah. Anyway, that one scene is the only one I'm stuck on. So yeah. So if you're only stuck on one, then why don't you just like sideline it and just expedite the other ones? I don't know. It'd be easier. Is it easier or is it more efficient? Less hassle for the other person? Well, it's probably more of a hassle to get everything like in December, right? Because they have less time to, put it into their schedule. Yeah. And see, this is the thing I bring this up a lot, so I don't want to be too much of a broken record, but I think there's an important distinction between the smart thing to do, the efficient thing to do, and what you should do, right? Like I think like it's cool, right? It's smart to be efficient with your money and your time, and it's like I mentioned this before, right? With my roommate, where he would buy all of his groceries at once in bulk from like Safeway or something through like DoorDash or something, right? Which is true. It's very efficient. You get all your food that way. It's usually all there, and it saves you time because you don't have to go out. But then he wouldn't cook. So what should have been an efficient use of money, because you save money by buying in bulk, actually just ended up being a massive waste of money, because he just wouldn't use that stuff. So he would waste money having bought the ingredients, but then also having paid for, honestly, super expensive delivery, right? So in that sense, the efficient thing to do, and like the easy or efficient or smart thing to do, isn't necessarily the thing you should actually do, right? It'll be the case, more, every once in a while, and it'll be the case maybe half the time or more, depending on how you live, right? But what I want to know is this that case, or is it not, right? I'm not confident with the dialogue. Well, so yeah, how do you fix that then? I mean, I guess my question is is there ever a point at which the dialogue you would be confident with the dialogue? Think about it further. That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. But then why don't? Sorry. So, do you only get to submit two things to this person? Like, do they only have like two commission slots, or is it? I don't understand what the agreement with this person is. Essentially, what I'm wondering is it possible to send multiple revisions of the same scene to this person? Like send them what you have right now, and then keep working on it, and then send it to them again, and then keep working on it, and then send it to them again, and then in parallel, prep whatever. Like maybe if you listen to it once, you'll get better ideas, or like from often. Well, this is the issue with freelance work, right? Or not even freelance work, but this is just the issue with contract-based work, right? So, freelance does include contracts, but you get what I mean. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I agree. I don't know. If you think there's improvements to be made, then I think that's fine. But also, if everything's done and you're just like, I don't know, then so is the script pretty much done, and the singular only issue is the dialogue, or is it pretty much done and the main issue is you're not confident with the dialogue? Like, are there actual existing other issues, or is it really there's only one? Sorry, I shouldn't ask that all at once, but you get what I mean. Like, is it, so it is, so if, I'm going to assume the latter. So the latter, which means that Sorry, which one was the latter? Was the latter that it's the main issue, or is it that's the only issue? I guess main or only is my question. The only issue? Yeah, I mean, obviously you don't have to take my advice, but if that's the point, I would just send it. Yeah, like, honestly, at that point, I would just send it and just be like, I might make a revision in the future, and then just ask them, like tell them, like, you know, the situation is I'm not super sure about the dialogue, but, it's basically done at this point. Could you record it? And then, in the future, I might have a future revision, but would you be able to do that as well? And then, just send it to him, be done. And then, as you're writing whatever future thing, I would kind of just keep this submission in the back of your head and be like, oh, maybe I should have phrased it like that, or, yada, yada, yada. Because again, it seems like this is like totally bottlenecking your entire project, right? Because at the very least for the past 2 or 3 weeks, if not more, it certainly is the singular bottleneck, is it not? Because I don't know, from my angle, it seems like that, and it seems like it's an arbitrary bottleneck because there's this, and the reason why I think it's an arbitrary, maybe not an arbitrary, but it's not clear if there even is a way to unbottleneck it besides just literally bypassing it. You know what I mean? Like, I can understand if there's a clear issue that can be fixed, or if like there's a clear problem, but it's not clear if there is a problem, right? So if it's not clear there's a problem, then of course it's not clear how to fix it, because it's not even clear what the problem is, right? So to me, yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, obviously, you don't have to do this immediately, right? But I would consider if it's even worth, letting this be the bottleneck. Yeah. I mean, obviously it's your project, so you don't have to do any of this stuff, right? You're not obligated to do any of these things. But, again, to me, it doesn't seem clear how you solve a problem that's, how you find a solution when it's not clear what the problem is, It's like, to me, it seems like the question isn't super defined. Lazy. Okay, well then, there's a pretty easy solution to that, and it's to wait until tomorrow. That's easy to solve. That's easy to solve. Feel convincing. Oh. And how many times did you get that feedback? Is it possible to request more details for that feedback? I understand that, just once. Okay. Well, still, anything's useful. Is it possible to request more details? Because, if someone told me that, then I don't know, like, what are the expectations? Like, the reality is with that script, like, I'm going to be honest. I've mentioned before, I can't see enough about any of the characters to make a judgment on whether it's convincing or not. Maybe this person can see more, and if they can, which I guess must be the case because otherwise they wouldn't say it doesn't sound convincing, then, I think it'd be nice to get that information to figure out how you would then fix it. Figure out what the issue was. Yeah, no, I agree. That's totally true. That's totally true. But also, it's a matter of philosophy, I think. So I guess the question is this person willing to provide additional feedback? Or feedback. Or does it seem like it? If they're not, then obviously that's not really an angle you can approach, and if they are, then I would just take it. Yeah. Dunno? Okay. Yeah, well, got into an argument? Sorry, what kind of argument? Just like a difference of opinion argument, or like stop bothering me type argument? Or, I mean, you're obviously not obligated to answer that, but like, damn. I don't know about you, but I don't care that much about my projects. Why can't you just tell me? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the circumstances with that argument is. But I guess what I will say is, this is the whole thing with like advice, right? There's plenty of ways to argue one way or the other. There's plenty of ways to justify one way or the other. Like, right, yeah, like if you could figure out what the whole weirdness is, then on your own, then that'd be great, because then you could just totally circumvent a problem. And then you could also argue that, well, you know, society is kind of fundamentally based on cooperation, so why shouldn't you just ask people for help, right? Like, I'm not saying you should depend on people for help all the time, but if it leads to you being able to figure it out on your own, then yeah, why don't you ask a question at the beginning? You know, it's not asking why now doesn't mean you'll ask why forever, right? Now, if you do end up asking why forever, then yeah, that sounds just like being a leech. But like, you know, by that logic, no one should go to school. They should just figure out math on their own, and they should figure out English on their own, and they should figure out, you know, history on their own, right? Like, because, you know, like there's artifacts. You can go to an archaeological site and you could kind of infer, you know, what happened. Like, you should be able to do all that, right? But, you know, like, it's a balance with those things, right? So yeah, so I'm not really going to comment on who's right in this case, but yeah, that's why. What do you think? Well, I don't know. What do you think? Is it, yeah, like, well, here, let me rephrase. Does it feel not convincing to you? Like, here's the critical thing, right? Does the text feel off? You don't see a problem. Then of course you don't know what the problem is, right? You see what I mean? I'm not saying there's a problem with your view. I'm saying, of course, it doesn't register. This is why I think the feedback in this case is relevant, or it's worth asking. Because, of course, if it doesn't register as a problem, then of course you can't figure out why it's a problem. Now, that doesn't mean it isn't a problem. It just means that, that it makes sense why you would ask why it's a problem, right? It doesn't justify it doesn't justify anything. But it contextualizes the question. Yeah. Yeah, no, so I see, so and that's why I'm leaning towards it making sense to ask in this case. Not that you should ask forever, right? Like, ideally what you do is you get this feedback this time, and then in the future, when you write more, you keep that in the back of your head, and you're able to kind of incorporate that such that you don't need to necessarily keep asking for the same feedback, or you're able to, so under that assumption, why wouldn't you ask the first time, right? So this is what I mean. Now, I still don't understand how and why it should turn into an argument, but, again, people have days that are off. And I don't know. So again, if it doesn't seem like an issue to you, and this person isn't willing to explain why it's an issue, Now, I'm going to be honest. In some sense, I can see what they're getting at. Like I said, it doesn't sound convincing. I can see why someone might think that, but I also don't see how you could make that judgment with so little information, right? The script needs to be about like 4 to like 10 times longer per person, and then you could make a judgment whether or not they sound convincing or not. But there isn't that much text. How do you infer anything from that? So, and which is why I was asking stuff like the personality of the characters, right? I wanted to know, like, if you give me a kind of an image or like some extra information, then yes, then I could make that call. But since that information wasn't all there, then I don't know how anyone could possibly make the call that it's not convincing or doesn't seem convincing. It's like, to me, it just seems like there's nothing to make. There's not nothing, but there's not enough to make an assessment on, right? So, and right, yeah, and I understand people have days they're off. Sometimes they're just tired, and there's a lot of things. And I don't know what your relationship with this person is, so I don't know if there's, from their perspective, there's some prior history that maybe warrants, dissatisfaction or, frustration or something. Like, I don't know. And like, I'm not going to deny that could be there. But again, what I'm going to say is that if can you get more feedback? Can you find someone else to look over it? And maybe if they say the same thing, maybe they're able to articulate it in some different way, or like maybe they're able to kind of guide you in the right direction. And gut feelings are important too, right? I think gut feelings are important. So like if really it doesn't sound convincing is just a gut feeling, then it makes sense that someone might not be able to articulate it. So yeah. But like whatever the case is, if there's no clear, if it's not possible to really explain why it's a problem, then I would just I don't see why you wouldn't just submit it to said it's fine. Then we're not at or I say we, but I mean I think for most people they're not expecting you to write who's a good novelist. I don't think they expect it to be like award winning, right? Because again, there's not enough like text there to really see a full story anyway. So it's hard to make. So of course the feedback is going to be it's fine, right? Because there doesn't seem like there's enough to necessarily make a call either way. So yeah, so I don't know. See, I feel like I'm on the side of it's fine. If I'm being really honest, I don't think it's obviously I'm not going to say it's award winning. I don't think it's such a disaster that people are going to physically feel ill by reading it, right? Obviously. I mean, you've heard my feedback for the script before. So I don't know. Obviously, you don't have to do this stuff immediately, but if there's no clear problem, I mean, okay, maybe there's a problem, but it's not super clear what it is. And because of that, you can't construct a way to solve it. So of course you're going to get stuck on it. So and I think it's fine to ponder these things, right? To get stuck. Part of what makes people, right, is what they choose to waste their time on. If I'm being really honest, or at least that's how I view it. So I think it's fine to spend time on figuring out what this ambiguous convincingness is, but only to the extent that it's helpful to you. Right? At some point, it's just going to get frustrating trying to solve a problem that's not super clear what the problem is, right? And, maybe you ask people and there's some new information that you can use to kind of make some progress. And you make these little bits of progresses and then you kind of ponder them and then you get stuck and then you ask again, then you make a little progress. And at some point you either solve the problem or you just get indefinitely stuck on it. And I think that's fine. But at that point, once you're just effectively indefinitely stuck on it, then I would just like move on, just submit it, and then move on with your life. And then eventually, I assume you'll gain enough experience to figure out what this ambiguous convincingness is, right? But like the question is this something that can be resolved on the order of the next month or 2 or 3, or is it not? And because the problem isn't clear, it's not clear what the answer to that is, right? So looking into something secretive. So I assume, well, I don't know. Did you ever end up looking at like the SCP stuff? Because I think it's somewhat relevant. Although I think SCP is more, it kind of has those aspects. Depends on what SCP. Because the whole SCP Foundation project kind of has that kind of feeling to it. So if you haven't, maybe that'll help in terms of kind of figuring out what this ambiguous thing that you need to add to your script is. I personally feel like sorry, so have you looked at the SCP stuff though? Because I really think it's relevant. Maybe the scale is a little bit larger than what I imagine you're going for, but you don't have to copy the project, right? I just mean, like in terms of how the project is structured and what kind of, world building they're going for. I feel like there are similarities that you could probably, may not reference, but like, you could draw from. I wish I had a specific SCP to reference, but if you haven't, again, I would look up 555. What is SCP-5555? What is this? What is this? This isn't the actual website. Here it is. Huh? Wait, 5555 5 fives? I thought the codes only go up to 4 digits. What is 55555? I missed 5555-5. I don't know. Oh, really? Oh, okay. Sorry, I don't know which one that is. Well, 5555's got a lot of stuff too, actually. I guess you could probably type in any. So, the way the SCP Foundation works is that I believe there was a forum that people can kind of test, like, write stuff on, and then eventually they get submitted, and once they're reviewed and the quality is deemed up to the the project standards, then it gets assigned a proper number. So essentially, any SCP with a valid number will have SCP will have been peer reviewed to some extent. SCP-3125. Okay, yeah, thanks. I was looking at it, I was like, oh, this is what you mean, yeah. No idea how that works. I don't know how this works either. I don't know how this is programmed, and I'm assuming you can just do it in HTML, but is there an object in here that... I don't know. I'm sure there's some way to do it. I mean, it's a glorified, what do you call it? Spoiler field, right? Like, it's literally just a spoiler box essentially that expands based on whether or not you submit or you enter the right password. So I assume you can do that in HTML somehow or something. Yeah, I don't know exactly how you do it, but I guess you need some sort of condition that says like, or I guess you need some kind of field that you can put user input into, and then you need to just put in some Boolean condition, and then, or not a Boolean condition, but you just need to just match the user input field with that, and then trigger the spoiler text or something. But I don't know how you do that in HTML. I'm not sure if you can. but there are like pseudo programmable, like website interface things. So I'm sure there's a way to do stuff like that. Yeah, at the very least, I know that there's some websites that let you literally just put like Python into the website. So in Python, you could totally do that. Although I'm not quite sure how the image rendering works in that case, but yeah. But yeah, I don't know about 3125 specifically, but I feel like just choose a random SCP. Here. Safe, okay. I'm looking for an SCP that has like transcripts. A lot of the SCPs don't have transcripts just due to the nature of stuff. Yeah. I don't know if it's helpful, but yeah, I would look around and see if there's anything useful. And then, or not useful, I guess what I mean to say is, I would read it just to get, and maybe look specifically for entries that have like transcripts of, stuff. I mean, those will usually be at the bottom of the page, right? And then, that'll, mainly, I guess what I would look for in your case would be like just conversation text, and then just kind of see like, I don't know, does it sound better or worse than what you have? Does it sound, can maybe try to quantify what this convincingness is, and then go from there. I still do think that with how little text there is, mainly because of, again, how time constrained you are in terms of, how much dialogue you can put in, I don't know how you would, what exactly you could do in such a, now, I'm sure if you were some like world-renowned, award-winning novelist, I'm sure within a few lines of text you could easily, do some fancy world-building crap. But like, I don't know. I wouldn't personally set my expectations that high. So, yeah. So again, I don't think you have to, but just at first glance, it seems like the SCP Foundation stuff would be relevant to look into in terms of from a world building perspective, obviously, but then, also there are a lot of entries that include dialogue. So if dialogue specifically is an issue, then, I don't see what's wrong with, looking at them for inspiration, right? I mean, I would also, if you do pull from some things for inspiration, I would make a note of what you did, so that if it ever comes up in the future that, there might be stuff that sounds a little similar, then you can make sure to reference what you what you used. Fuck writing. Well, it's your hobby, not mine. Don't look at me. I prefer drawing. Phoniamu? Phoniamu? I don't know. If you're looking for a cute anime girl with a cute anime voice, sorry to disappoint. If you get this, feel free to stay. I'm studying electromagnetism and optics right now, specifically reflection and transmission at oblique incidents. Never seen the word oblique used. But anyway, yeah. Although I think I was actually going to go for a late night snack, just because it is 11 o'clock. I wonder what I should do. I guess I want to try making this rice at some point. This would actually be a nice late night snack, but I don't know, let me think. Actually, there was a microwave in the dumpster earlier. I remember seeing it, and it said it was working. So gonna test it. I might. I'm a little worried because there's some stuff like that got dumped on top of it, so I'm a little worried it might have gotten damaged at some point. And I don't know, I feel like a microwave is something that you should be careful with, right? I wouldn't necessarily want to power on a microwave with that I'm not sure if is safe, you know? Yeah. Okay, well anyway, so I'm wasting time. So I'm gonna go get something to eat and then keep working tonight. So I guess the first thing is to make sure I commit to that. Let me drink this coffee, or maybe I should just go for a coffee. Is there even a coffee place? Is there anywhere that serves coffee that's even open this late? I don't know. You know what? I'll just wander around, figure out what I'm gonna do. But yeah. So Modesty, thanks for staying till the end. Take care, stay safe. Have a good evening. As usual, I might be back, but also I might more likely just take a nap because that seems to be the pattern. But I'll see you later. Let's got it.